In 1632, Rembrandt Harmenszoon van Rijn painted The Abduction of Europa, an intriguing mythological story based on the second book of Metamorphoses by the Roman poet Ovid. A very short summary is that we see the Roman god Jupiter disguised as a beautiful white bull abducting the beautiful Europa, while Europa's servants look in disbelief at what is happening. But let's take one step back to understand the story a bit better, and at the same time I'll show you how some other artists have depicted the story, which is also known as the Rape of Europa. So there is this beautiful Phoenician princess called Europa. We see her here in a painting from 1635 by Erasmus Quellinus. And like many other beautiful mythological women experienced, there was a fair chance that the chief among the gods, Jupiter, would spot you and take an obsessive interest in you. So he comes up with a plan to seduce her. Jupiter asks his son Mercury to go to Europa's land and drive the herd of royal cattle to the beach, where Europa is playing with her servants. You may see that on the left of this 1561 painting by Titian, although it may be a bit more clear from a copy of this work by Peter Paul Rubens. Jupiter disguises himself as a tame white bull and puts himself among the royal cattle. Europa recognizes his beauty and starts to play with him, decorating the sweet bull with flowers as we can see in this painting by Coypel. While a bit afraid at first, she eventually climbs on his back and Jupiter takes that opportunity to walk into the water, beautifully illustrated in this work from 1716 by Jean-François de Troyes. And then he runs off with her, as we see in the 1696 painting by Hendrik van Minderhout. And that brings us back to Rembrandt's interpretation of events. He also captured the moment when Jupiter has just run into the water and is ready to take off. And while you can see the happiness of the bull by the way his tail is up, it is also exactly the moment that both Europa and her servants start to realize what is going on. Her servants are the virgins of Tyre, where Europa lived. The woman in blue has dropped the flower garland they made for the bull in her lap and raises her hands up in the air. The other woman looks at Europa while folding her hands as if she resigns in Europa's fate. And the man on the horse carriage also looks on in shock. When looking at this painting, I want to share two more interesting observations. First, I want to highlight the artistic skills of Rembrandt, who actually painted very few landscape paintings during his incredibly productive career. Catching the eye first when looking at this work is the way he used light and dark for some beautiful contrasts, a typical Baroque technique. He puts the most important parts of this scene in the light, while most of the landscape and the people in the background are in the dark. However, he emphasized the shiny gold elements of the carriage, which stands out against the dark surrounding colors. Notice also the way he painted the beautifully decorated dresses of the woman, including the reflection of the servant's dress in the water. Another interesting element is how different artists portrayed Europa, considered to be a very beautiful woman. As these artists lived in different countries and times, they interpreted beauty in different ways. Titian's idea of beauty, for example, is very different from the idea of beauty back in the day that Ovid wrote this story. This is actually a wall painting recovered from the ruins of Pompeii, painted some 2000 years ago. And it's different from the beauty of Gustave Moreau in 1869, and the concept of beauty by Félix Vallotton, who painted this modern version of the story in 1908. Well, I hope you enjoyed this discussion. Let me know in the comments which of the depictions of the Abduction of Europa is your favorite, or whether you are aware of any other beautiful interpretations of this story not shown in this video. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I hope to welcome you in another video on this channel soon. Thanks for watching.